Hey YouTube, welcome to my first Vlogmas video. I am wearing my little, this is the most festive outfit that I have. So I'm wearing, I don't know what accent that was that I have. Anyways, as you can see from the title of the video, I'm going to be talking about some of my favorite memoirs, some of which I've read, some of which I have started and not finished. Oops. Since joining YouTube, feel like I super declined in memoir readings, and that's just because I guess the nature of YouTube, we don't talk about memoirs, even though I really enjoy that genre. And I just think memoirs are super impactful because it's other people sharing their stories, and not in a fictional way. It's their actual life, which I thoroughly enjoy. So yeah, let's get into the books. The first one I don't actually have the physical copy of. I listened to it on audiobook. Redefining Realness by Janet Mock. Janet Mock is a Black trans woman. I think she holds other identities as well, but I read that either over the summer or in April, and that was a really great book. I didn't necessarily resonate with a lot of her story because our lived experiences are very different, but it was interesting to see a glimpse of her life, and it was the first Black trans woman memoir I had ever read, and I just want to encourage publishing to put out more of those, because I don't feel like we hear from Black trans women enough. And yeah, the second book, The Bold World by Jodi Patterson. Jodi Patterson is a non-binary Black mother. She really prides herself on being a mother, and she is literally my, I guess, author crush. She is who brought me to BookTube, and who reignited my love of reading, and I still to this day will read that book over and over and over again. Again, I listened to this on audiobook. Even though I have the physical copy, I just gave it to a friend and they never gave it back. But it's literally one of my favorite books, and if you're watching this, where's my book? Anyways, this book is about her son coming out as trans. Her son's name is Penelope, and it that's how it was sort of marketed, as just a book about her son who comes out as trans and the parents' perspective of navigating that. But actually at the beginning of the book she discusses her own upbringing and how her pride in her womanhood shaped her into who she is. And I just again, I didn't necessarily resonate with the stories that she was sharing because those aren't my lived experiences, but it was just written so well and in such a way that I felt one, I was there. I felt I understood her emotions and had empathy for her in the times when she was frustrated with her dad, or when she was grieving, or when she was feeling rebellious. All of her life stories and lessons just felt so impactful and resonated with me, even though they didn't resonate with me because I experienced it. So yeah, and then of course the chapters about Penelope, they were great as well, even though I don't know if that was really the part that should have the part that drew me into reading the book isn't even the biggest part that hit me and made my heart chakra super warm. I think it was just her sharing her story, and there's chapters at this point that I go back to and reread, because they're just so great, and I cannot wait to one day meet her and tell her hey, your book has brought me through, because it's that book that I go to whenever I'm feeling super depressed, or whenever I'm feeling just not interested in life, and I can just listen to her tell me her life stories and feel encouraged and feel better about myself. And I find that to be true with memoirs, that hearing someone go through something and talk about how they got over it, or got through it, can be really encouraging, especially if you are someone like me who deals with a lot of negative thoughts and just not great thinking all the time. So yeah, I feel like I can never do this book justice talking about it, so I just have not made a book review about it. But the next book, which I have made a book review about, is All Boys Aren't Blue. I will link the book review for this book in the description below, or in the little cards on the screen somewhere. This book is amazing, and y'all already know that I love this book. This is a book where, yes, I resonated with the stories, like the lived experiences that George and Johnson experienced are ones that I also lived and experienced, and I just I felt so seen. Like, it was so just wild how things that he was writing about were things that I have been through, and things that I don't know, it hit a little too close to home. I was like, did you take notes from my diary from when I was 14, 15 years old? It was weird. But it was the perfect kind of weird that just really again, warmed my heart chakra and just made me feel great reading it. And I definitely recommend this to any Black queer kid. Same with The Bold World. Now this one is not Black and trans, but it's Black and queer. I had lots of notes. I forget. I think pink is good, blue is bad, or vice versa. And not bad, just questionable parts. But this is I Can't Date Jesus by Michael Arsen. This last name. Okay. This book made me laugh from the first chapter, and it was nice and short. So I really appreciated that. And there was a part where he discussed sexual assault, which I skipped over. So I can't speak to how, I wouldn't, that's another thing with memoirs. You can't review them because these are people's lives and them talking about how they got through things. So you can't be that was a dumb way to get through something. That's their life. What are you talking about? So I think what makes memoirs impactful is just how much they resonate or don't resonate with you. And good writing is also something that makes memoirs stand out. But this one, I just remember having a good time and laughing. And I think he is from Houston, or part of the book was set in Houston. So imagining Houston was great. That was fun as well. But yeah, that's not trans, but is Black and queer. And so I wanted to share that as well. And speaking of good writing, I think, or actually, let me start with Tomorrow Will Be Different. Tomorrow Will Be Different, Love, Loss, and the Fight for Trans Equality is a book by Sarah McBride. Wow. Almost forgot her name. That would have been so bad. That is a book that I read over the summer, or was it in August? Sometime this year. And that book, by the way, Sarah is a white trans woman. She is become really popular now because she is the first trans person elected for a Senate position, I think, in the U.S. Wasn't really following. The election week was stressful, but I remember that was some good news that came out of it. Not gonna get into my politics of it all, but Sarah McBride discussed her journey into politics and her just journey as a trans woman in general. And Sarah is actually from I do not claim this university, but Sarah graduated from American University, and I also attended American University. And so whenever Sarah was talking about becoming the first trans student president, I was yeah, because I don't know if at y'all's school, it's probably not this deep, but at AU, student president elections are, or what is it called? Student government elections are very it might as well be the presidential election of the U.S. because people take it their campaigns. They actually have campaigns, and the campaigns are so serious. But of course, because the AU, if you don't know, is in DC, and everyone, even me as a neuroscience major, I was heavily involved in politics at the time. Again, not in that way anymore. But anyways, so whenever Sarah was mentioning AU and like the AU culture, I was like, wow, yes, that sounds definitely like an AU student. Yes. Even all of her like worries were very like AU student, like on brand with the AU student like brand, because I think she's talking about not having enough internships and not feeling good enough and all this stuff. And I feel like that's just an AU student mentality, that you have to like be working 5 internships, taking the like max amount of courses while also, I don't know, like just doing the most with every semester, or else you're not going to become president of the United States. And that is like not everyone's goal, but like at AU, which is a very political school, it's a lot. That is not to say that I did not like this book. I just don't like AU differences. But I enjoyed like being able to connect with what she was saying about AU. And then past AU, she also talked about her mentor, Joe Biden, and her mentor, she's from Delaware. I think it was a Delaware governor. Like she knew the Delaware governor, or probably still knows to this day. And that was impactful to me because I remember having relationships like that with my, what are they called? Congressmen of my like county in Maryland. And just a lot of what she was sharing about her story was really like relatable to me as a young trans person whenever I was like also interested in possibly going into politics. So yeah, if you want to read a book, again, trans women, a book again about trans women, and like listening to a trans woman's story, I definitely recommend that book as well. These last 2 books are about white trans men. I tried to order the list of these in the order of like most marginalized to like least. So I left the white trans men to the end. But this is Alex Bertie's book. Alex Bertie was one of the first, amongst the first trans YouTubers that I ever watched on YouTube. And this is his book called Transmission, My Quest to a Beard. I'm going to be honest, I read like 1 chapter of this and did not finish it, even though it's like a very easy read. It has like pictures and stuff, and it's super cute. I just remember being really excited for Alex because like I saw the process of him picking the cover and of him like documenting his talks with this editor and whatnot, and I was just like so like proud of him as a fan. So I was like, I'm just gonna buy the book. And back then I wasn't like, I had no time to really like read because, you know, college as a science major, it was a lot. But yeah, this is his story, his quest to a beard, and very, very cute book. I love the cover, by the way. Look at his little robot tattoo. Anyways, and last but not least, this is beautiful book, Before I Had the Words by Skylar Skylar, that last name. Also a white trans guy. I guess, is it called On Being a Transgender Young Adult, Before I Had the Words? I think it's just called Before I Had the Words. Anyways, this is what the book looks like if you want to purchase it. As you can see, I am barely into it. I thoroughly enjoyed how short most of the chapters were, but I think I got to a chapter that was super long and I was like, nah. Like if you're gonna have, I enjoy books where the chapter length is consistent, and I don't know if that's just me being nitpicky, but he would have some chapters that were just like 5 to 10 pages and then have other chapters that were like 30 pages, and I'll be like, what are you doing? But I actually met Skylar at the Philly Trans Wellness Conference, and he like signed this book for me. So that was really cool. I remember seeing him and his mom at the little, I don't know if you've ever been to the Philly Trans Wellness Conference, but they had the little booths and tables for people to either sell products or raise awareness about whatever thing that they're raising awareness about. So also have not finished this book, but this is about his transition, and from what I did read, I thoroughly enjoyed his writing. I think his degree or his like thing that, like, what is that called? Career? What is the thing that you do with your life? Obviously, I'm not doing it because I would know the word for it. But yeah, I think his major is in writing. So like this memoir definitely reads like someone who knows how to write. Not to say that the rest don't, but like, for example, I Can't Date Jesus. People complained about it, like having really long-winded sentences and being too conversational. I think they also complained that All Boys Aren't Blue was too conversational, and I was like, I'm fine with it being conversational, because like I feel like that leads to an even better memoir because you're just listening to them give their story. So yeah, these were all of my memoirs. That was just 7 memoirs. Took a little bit longer than I would have liked for me to explain those, but that's okay. As far as Vlogmas goes, tomorrow I will be uploading a reading vlog. At the moment I should be reading, but I learned that like reading in 24 hours is not what I like to do. I like to space it out a little bit. So I decided to space it out a little bit and give myself more time to read and not like force myself to just read for hours. I don't know how do y'all just read for hours? I read like when it's convenient, which is why I don't read enough. But what even is enough? Who set that expectation? Anyways, thank you. If you watched to the very end, put a Christmas emoji, Christmas tree emoji down in the comments below. Other than that, I guess I'll see you tomorrow. I gotta stop saying see you because I'm not gonna see you. I'm gonna like be in a video that you're gonna watch tomorrow. Hopefully, if you like this video, you'll watch the next. It's been a while since I did YouTube. Thank you. Have a great week. Bye.